Hi guys, Penny Rose Journals, how you doing? Today we have Andrea. She's just been finished. She is a large hardcover journal made out of an encyclopedia cover. She is about 26.5 centimeters or 10.5 inches tall, 20 centimeters wide or 8 inches. And her spine is about 6.5 or just over 2.5 inches. So she's a decent sized journal. Pretty big, I guess, being as she's the size of an encyclopedia. I've replaced the spine as I normally do because I want more width. And her covers are covered in a brown paper bag and some jelly printing and overlaid with pattern paper. And then she has this little faux book plate made of scraps of material and lace and whatnot, and this cute button. It's really quite an unusual button. So she has 4 signatures. So yeah, she is a chunky girl, just the way we like them. Right, make sure she's in frame for you, and then plug in my microphone, because of course I forgot to do that already. Where are we? There we go. Right, probably going to make a racket. I'll sort it out. All right, let's go have a look inside Andrea. This is the inside front cover. She has a little flip out that that's made out of a piece of manila folder. Just has some little bits and bobs in there. Got some pockets made out of old canvas. Just a few bits and pieces in there for you. And it's also a tuck spot that has a tag and a journal card tucked in. On this page, you've just got a little page decoration. It's just a little label and a bit of scrap, basically. And it's just a tiny pocket. I've just popped in some of my little doodles, my watercolor doodles. So you can stick those throughout Andrea if you wish. So it's a piece of my handmade paper. It feels nice. It feels almost fabricy. It's soft. I like it. Anyway, some very nice crinkly coffee dyed dictionary. Just some coffee dyed papers. These were all batch dyed. I am going to do some batch dyeing soon. I did promise a few people that I would try and show it on camera, so I'll do what I can, and there'll be a video of that up eventually. So this is an old sewing knitting magazine page. It just has a book page pocket stuck to it with some ephemera, just some little tags that made out of old book pages and whatnot, a reproduction photograph, and just a little tag in the front. This is just some of my jelly prints on here. There's some cross stitch or needle point pattern. This is some of my painted paper bags, just painted with house paint. I had some of these interesting metallic house paint that was left in the garage by the previous owners of my house, so that was a fair while ago, and I found it and went, you know what, I know I had the perfect thing. Here is some map out of an old atlas. This was batch dyed and it sort of tore a bit as it was coming apart from other papers. You can see all the staining. It's yummy. So it just has some paper bags stuck down the middle, basically, because it was virtually torn in half anyway. So I needed to reinforce it before I put it in here, else it would have just torn straight out. There's a few of these little tabs or I've used them for tabs, I've used them just for page decorations and stuff. Just scraps off of my desk, and you know, there's some of them have got bits of fabric in them, some of them are just papers, just interesting little bundles of stuff. It's another book page pocket on a page. Just has a journal card, one of those little tag sort of hidden notebooks that we made in one of my videos, and a tag tucked in there. I think this is just a simple tag. They're made out of cereal box, the sides of the cereal box, and just wrapped in brown paper with a little bit of coffee dyed something on the back, so you can journal if you want to. And that one's just got a reproduction picture of an old building. There's this stenciling. There's a couple of different stencils I used in here. All of it's been done in this sort of brown tone, go with the rest of the journal. There's the other stencil. It's an old fly page out of a book. This was an old fly page out of a book too. It was torn, so when I stuck it down on this book page, I just stuck a bit of my intuitive text behind it, give you something a bit interesting to look at, and a little bit of journal space. And look at all that foxing and staining. Yum, yum, too yummy. This is a batch dyed page that was from a building schematic. Bit of paper ruffle there. Piece of Chinese calligraphy paper. There's another one of those little snippets of things. There's a flip out envelope with a few bits and pieces inside for you. Another bit of my painted on shopping bag. The reason I paint on them is just to cover the logos and stuff. The logos are a bright green and quite unpleasant to look at, in my humble opinion. This, I was just playing around. This is a bunch of ink dyed papers. There is little, they're kind of stuck together, but there is some spots in here where you could tuck things. This one's glued down. You could probably tuck tickets or something in there and there, but this one's got sort of a bigger gap. But I didn't tuck anything in there because I was afraid you might lose it. So I'll leave that one to you. You can tuck note papers and tickets and stuff in there if you wish. But yeah, I just have a lot of these ink dyed papers. They're just basically dyed around the edge, and they're so pretty, but I don't use them that often because, you know, I just because they're all singular pages too, they're not double spreads. This is some painted magazine I just used to make a spine for these pages, so yeah, it's something a bit different. Anyway, more paper bag, just a little book page pocket stuffed with lots of little bits of ephemera for you. This is obviously sewn on. Instead of the painting, this has bits of scrap paper covering logos and whatnot, and then I've just sewn over the top of it, keep it all in place. It is glued down obviously, but not thoroughly. So yeah, it's just a decorative page, I guess. Another bit more of that map. That's you can see it was batch dyed with a crossword puzzle that had been mostly filled in, so you've got some bleed through from the crossword. So yeah, it's interesting. I like the batch dyeing. Here's one of those cards we made with the little flips, and just has a piece of ephemera tucked in there. That's original ephemera from probably 1960, 1970. There's the other side of that page that's made out of the book pages. So another one of those page tabs made of scraps. couple of fly leaves from the book. This is an old piece of ephemera. I don't know if there's a date on it. It was actually from a boating company selling I don't know, engines or something. Magnoids. There you go. Oh yeah, it's to stop saltwater deterioration due to corrosion. There you go. Anyway, it is a genuine piece of ephemera. Here's again, you can see the batch dyeing here. It's no, sorry, this is a piece of paper from a building maintenance company. It feels nice, lovely paper that. Again, the batch dyeing, you can see something sort of slightly yellow there imprinted on the page. Here is just a little baggie made out of baking paper and a piece of washi over the top. It's been coffee dyed. There is something in the front pocket and something tucked behind. Another little paper ruffle sort of bizzo. Here's another book page pocket, put over one of my sort of Franken page sort of businesses, just with a few little tags and journal cards and whatnot tucked in there. It's backed with all sorts of ink stained papers and a bit of stenciling. There's another piece of that sewn on paper. It's just got one of those little scrap decorations, I guess, there. More painted page. It's the other side of that sort of Franken page. I love these. They're interesting. And they use lots of scraps, which I love. This is a page out of the front of a book. It's sort of velvety. It's really nice. Nice and soft, and just a little bit of jelly print stuck down the side there. Just some of my intuitive writing and a piece of pattern paper stuck over this page, just for something a bit different. A bit of that book page that I was printing music on. Okay, it was issued February 1968, that letter from the boating place. So yeah, that's a piece of genuine old ephemera there. Another piece of my handmade paper. This one has all sorts of little coloured bits and pieces, but also has little threads as well. I collect all my threads and yeah, do all sorts of things with them. Here was a book from an old book from a library. Some of the pages out of that. I like these pages. I don't have too many of these left. You can see this one's been batch dyed with things as well. Yeah, I can't remember what this is for. Transistors. So yeah, it's interesting. It's little numbers. I think this is the last piece of this paper. This is that maintenance service or whatever it was before. Yeah, I think that's the last piece I have. Another one of those little scrap tags on the side, another little paper ruffle, a piece of vellum or something that I found floating around in a grab bag somewhere. That's my last piece of that as well. Andrea is full of the lasts of things. Here is one of those book page sort of hidden writing spots. It has a couple of pockets, one behind it with a journal card in it and one behind the front page with a journal card in it, and the book pages flip up like so for you to journal inside. Another book page pocket with a couple of journal cards inside, a couple of authentic stamps from places. Germany, I think. Germany and, I don't know, Netherlands or something. Just another one of those flip out envelopes with a few bits in the side for you. A coffee dyed and baked with an inch of its life piece of paper. One of those little faux envelope pockets with a journal card and a few little things popped in here, and one of those little scrap bundles, whatever you call them. I don't know. What do people call them? Sometimes my English sort of disappears. My words disappear. I don't know. Anyway, yes, that is that page from the building maintenance company, and that is, like I say, the last one I have, which is a shame because it's beautifully textured paper. I love it. Right, and in the back cover there is a belly band made out of various bits and pieces, a little envelope stuffed with a few things in there, and a couple of journal cards. And yeah, the back covers, like the front, is again the brown paper covered with the sewing pattern. So yeah, that is Andrea. She is a big chonker, as per usual. I can't really seem to make small journals, can I? And the problem is I have these big covers and I don't like to cut the covers. I would prefer just to replace the spines and make the journals the size of the book. So that's the reason I make so many big ones, because I have so many encyclopedias. Because, you know, that's one thing nobody is short of, is encyclopedias. They're everywhere. Here she is, looking from the top, or the front. Looking from the top. Yeah, she's lovely. I love her. Anyway, that's Andrea. I hope you enjoyed having a look through her. She will probably be going up on my Etsy store later on today. She's not up yet, so keep an eye out if you're interested. And yeah, I will see you again next time. Thanks for coming along. Bye.